So it's mid-morning, we've had about 500 seats declared in the UK general election, and the overwhelming message is that Theresa May's election gamble has backfired. I'm joined by George Parker, our political editor, to talk us through the events of the night. George, it's fair to say the British electorate have sprung another surprise on us.
Yeah, we're getting used to these surprises. It was only about a year ago we were sat in this newsroom talking about the EU referendum, and here's one we never predicted. At the start of this campaign, it looked like Theresa May was going to have a sort of regal procession back to number 10. It's completely backfired. There's a possibility that Theresa May could be forced out of office as a result of this. There's a lot of confusion now about what happens next with Brexit. The whole world as we knew it in terms of politics has been turned on its head.
So it looks, however, still like she is going to lead the Conservatives are going to be the largest party in Parliament, but probably 5-10 seats short of a majority, something like that.
Yes, it looks like from what Theresa May has said tonight that she will try and form a minority government of some sort. She said the country needs a period of stability. Now, the first question is whether Theresa May herself will be the person leading that minority government, because already tonight there's talk in Conservative circles about whether she should continue, whether there should be a leadership challenge. And then the question is, if she forms this minority government, she has to get a Queen's speech through. And that in itself is potentially problematic. I assume that she will. She's quite close to the finishing line. She can probably do a deal with Ulster Unionists to try and keep the government going.
And Jeremy Corbyn, written off completely by many of us, heading towards a landslide Tory government about 5 weeks ago, has emerged without winning the election, however, as the winner.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been an incredible campaign by Jeremy Corbyn. It's been energetic. It's been authentic. He's galvanised young people who don't normally vote. I think that's one of the stories of this election, this huge turnout, which we think reflects a very large turnout by young people. And he's someone who has cemented his grip on the Labour Party. I think most people thought this would have been a total disaster for the Labour Party. The question for moderate Labour MPs now is, do they rally behind Jeremy Corbyn and try and bring one more heave, if you like?
Just to put this into context, it looks like Theresa May will actually have got a share of the vote equivalent to anything that Margaret Thatcher did, and she's still way short.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, what we've seen tonight is a return to the old two-party politics. So the Labour Party votes up, the Conservative Party votes up. But the interesting thing, I think, tonight is that the UKIP vote has collapsed. UKIP, if you remember, won 12% of the vote at the last election. We thought most of that vote would go to the Conservatives, but I think one of the stories of the night is it appears the UKIP vote has split more or less 50-50 between the Tories and Labour, and that means the expected advance by the Tories into the North and Midlands hasn't materialised.
And the other story of the night is Scotland, which has been quite remarkable.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, the SNP the SNP won 56 out of 59 seats in 2015. It looks like it's going to be down nearer to 30 by the end of this evening. All of the unionist parties, the Conservatives, Labour and Liberal Democrats, all making advances, and I think it's a serious setback for Nicola Sturgeon, the SNP leader.
We just saw Alex Salmond losing his seat.
And Alex Salmond losing his seat, and it's incredible to the Conservatives. You know, something that would have been unthinkable 2 years ago, and another sign of a just tumultuous night.
So two final questions. Where does this leave the Brexit negotiations?
Well, the Brexit negotiations start on June the 19th, or they're supposed to start on June the 19th. And you've had David Davis, the Brexit Secretary, today saying that we've presented the public with this vision of Brexit and we now are listening to their verdict. Now, I think there'll be a debate inside the Conservative Party about whether they should carry on down the route of so-called hard Brexit. And I think there'll be some people saying that we just need to put the whole thing on hold for a few weeks or even a few months. So I think there's a lot of uncertainty around Brexit, and it's one of the reasons why the pound has dropped sharply overnight.
Last question. Are we looking at yet another general election within a year?
Well, from a personal point of view, Robert, I can't wait. I can't wait until the next election. Look, the last time we had two elections in a year was back in...
You may be out of step with the public on this.
I'm with Brenda from Bristol on this. Last time we had this was in 1974 when there were two elections. I think there'll be a temptation to have a second election because the result is going to be so inconclusive. The question is whether a second general election would produce any more of a conclusive result than this one.
Right. Thanks very much, George. I suspect we'll be talking again a bit later. You can follow all the results as they come in and as the developments go on throughout the day on ft.com.